We've dealt with college students, police officers, professors,
fertility, pregnancy, eggs,
inebriated weirdos, and pro-life leaders. But today, we face the final boss. Teenagers.
What do you think?
Do you have a daughter?
Do I have a daughter? I have a daughter, yes.
So why would you be okay if like your daughter got raped and didn't want to have?
Are you okay
that?
with
Or what if she was like gonna die if she had her kid? Like you want her to still have that kid and die, even though the kid don't have a heartbeat or a life or memories or nothing.
the baby doesn't form till 8 weeks?
Okay, so you've asked a lot of questions in a row. Would you like me to answer them? What do you think? What do you think about abortion?
Not the best.
Not the best?
If possible, should be avoided.
If possible? What's the circumstance where it's not possible to avoid it, you think?
Something's going on in the parent's life that makes them unable to care for a child.
So should that same circumstance allow them to kill a born child? Okay, so you've asked a lot of questions in a row. Would you like me to answer them? Or were you just... Okay, so first of all, if my daughter got raped, the last thing I would want is for my grandchild to be murdered. So I am against all murder, and my own grandchild being murdered would actually make my life way more disappointing than it already would be. Now, my daughter's life is not being murdered if she was raped. My daughter. No. So do you want to move on to the next one, or do you want to keep talking about the victim one? Like, let's say they're real poor, so they don't want to have a baby. What if they got poor and their baby was already one? Kill the baby?
No.
Okay, so can you help me understand why you have a different standard then for a born child and an unborn one?
Born child, you can easily just take it to an orphanage or find someone else willing to take care of it.
Okay.
An unborn child, there's not really a way to...
Okay, so because the mom is encumbered with the baby in her womb, there's a difference in your mind. So does the baby's life have less value though?
I'm not sure, that's a good question.
If it didn't have less value, then it would be murder, just like murdering a 1-year-old, 10-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever, right?
Yes.
So how do we find out, you think?
Not really sure if there is a way to find out.
Not sure?
Pretty sure it's based on how much you value it.
I was talking about like how if your daughter got pregnant by being raped, you wouldn't want your grandchild to die. What if your daughter didn't want somebody here to constantly remind them? Like I started getting from birth. My dad raped me. I've had miscarriages. I've had abortions. Like, but sometimes it's just something you gotta do. Like I don't understand.
So let me ask you a question. Is there any person in the world that deserves to die because of that rape?
Yes.
Was it the baby?
Some people do deserve to die.
The baby?
No.
Okay, that's the question. Who deserves to die when a rape occurs?
The rapist.
The rapist deserves to die. Hold on. No, slow down.
That.
What do you mean we can't decide that?
We can't decide.
Wait, hold on. You literally are arguing for being allowed to decide an innocent baby can die, but we can't decide legally
It is our body.
that a rapist should die. It's not your body. That's a baby's body.
It is our body.
Not your body.
Choose.
Like you're 10 years old, what if you can't like afford a baby?
Right.
Like if you're like 10 or something.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What if you have a baby and then you can't afford it? Can you kill the baby then?
No, you can't. If you already know you can't afford it. Yeah.
No, hold on.
Okay.
There's too many people at once. you have a 1-year-old and suddenly you realize, I can't afford this. Should you be allowed to kill the 1-year-old?
Okay, hold on, I have a question. How old are you and your parents know?
Answer my question. No. And the reason is because you know it's wrong to murder. You just apply special murder privileges while the baby's still in the womb by your argument.
Okay, all right.
So hold on. She was asking like respectful questions too. She was actually first. But that's okay. We can talk about all of it. But so when somebody's raped, the rapist deserves capital punishment. That person deserves to die. The baby doesn't deserve to die. So, do you play any sports or any games or?
I do not, no.
You don't play chess or anything?
I do play chess.
You play chess? Do you play by the rules or do you just make up the rules as you go?
Play by the rules.
What would you think of somebody who said there was a way you could do it and you knew that wasn't the right way?
I'd say that's against the rules.
And if they said, but that's just your rule, what would you say?
That's how the game's played.
You'd say, no, there's actually a higher rule, the higher authority, the chess rules.
Higher authority, yes.
Right? So what I'm going to say to you is that there's a higher authority than your opinion, my opinion, and actually if you added up all of our opinions, and that higher authority is God. And what God says is right and wrong is actually a standard we can appeal to anytime. We don't have to try to figure it out or say the value of another person is just based on how you value them subjectively, based on what your opinion is. We can say objectively, God says, thou shalt not kill. That he made man in his own image, and that if man kills another man, that's called murder. And so the Bible gives us a standard by which we can know what right and wrong is objectively. So that means without it being based on our opinion or where we live or how we feel that day. So if I told you that God says that all human life, that innocent human life at least, is to be protected, and so we shouldn't murder any baby, no matter how unwanted they are, no matter how difficult we're sure they'll make the world in our life, we are not to murder them. Now, do you see the difference?
Yes.
So, do you know God?
I believe I do, yes.
You think you do? How do you know God? Like, what do you know about him?
I go through church.
Okay, you go to church.
And I pray as well.
All right.
Follow the Bible as far as I can.
Okay, what's your name?
Braden.
Braden, I'm Michael.
Hello.
It's good to meet you, Braden.
Meet you.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
14.
14, okay, I said that earlier, didn't I?
You did not.
I guessed it, but maybe I didn't say it out loud. We'll rerun the tape.
Right.
Now,
If you didn't agree to have sex with somebody
Sure.
and they affected your body,
yes.
that should be your choice what to do with it. Like if I go get AIDS, does that mean I can't go get rid of my AIDS?
Yeah, a baby's not a disease. Go ahead, you go next.
What if I were to get okay,
Yep.
just hypothetically, and I go to the doctors, whatever, and they are like, you're gonna die if you have this child, and if I don't want to
Yeah.
have that child, then I should be allowed to have that abortion
so
if I am going to die.
if my dad got me pregnant,
Hold on.
and I should have my father's baby and risk me and my baby dying. That, like, I just personally don't understand how you could take
You haven't let me.
else's
You haven't let me
life
talk to you.
and choose for them.
That's exactly the problem.
What you guys are trying
You're-
to do is
you're
push on
choosing-
everybody that abortion is bad and
Yes.
you shouldn't kill children.
It's wicked
but
and it's
isn't your
murder,
choice.
and you could be.
I don't care.
You
if
can
it's
be
murder.
forgiven for it.
I do not care if it's murder. I
know.
I don't
So
believe
listen.
in God. I
No,
don't, and
that-
I do not care what you believe in.
Yes, but
stop
you're gonna
trying
stand
push
before
on
him.
people that
You're going to stand
you,
before
a man
God
who
one day.
cannot get pregnant,
You will stand
should
before
not
God,
be able to
and
choose
God is going
what
to
a
cast
woman
you
does
into a
with
lake
her
of fire
body.
because of your sin. God is not going to give
don't
you
get
any
to
excuses on
choose what a
Judgment
woman
Day.
does with their
So as
body.
long
You
as
have no
you
idea
are
what
a
they've
person
been
who
through.
has sinned
You have
against
no
God,
idea who
you
put their
need to
penis
repent.
inside of them
So
without
when
giving
God
consent.
calls you a murderer,
have no idea.
you hear it and you know it's true. The only reason you're reacting this way is you know what I'm
It
saying
isn't
is
murder?
true.
No, I don't think it's true. And that's
murder
exactly why I'm
to
right
kill
fucking
little
here.
baby humans.
It's not murder.
The same
to
way
kill
you
somebody
know
with a fucking heartbeat.
The same way you know rape is wrong is how you know
Okay,
murder's
they're
wrong.
retarded. You can't fix them.
So I'll be happy to talk to you if you'd like to. Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like if you have a one-year child, you figure out you can't afford that.
Yep.
There's adoption centers.
Okay, so you could give up your baby to adoption.
You don't have to kill them.
So you don't have to kill a baby. That's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah. So wait,
And your argument is if the baby was still in the womb, we have to kill the baby.
I do have a question. It depends on the situation.
But we don't murder people. Go ahead.
What point would you What point would you get an abortion? Like when there's like how old?
Well, I would never allow an abortion. We don't murder humans ever.
I know, but when
So-
like the right time before it's too late to actually get it.
Never.
Because like there's like a certain amount before like maybe it's like too developed before you can actually get it.
No, as soon as the sperm and the egg comes together, you have a human life right there, and you cannot murder.
But it's a cell. At that, and that is at one point it's just a clump of cells before it actually forms into a human.
No, it's
Some
human.
people have it.
It's a human. It's a human clump of cells, just like you are right now.
Right. It's a clump of cells, but it doesn't. It's
You're a
not
clump of
fully
cells.
developed. But it's not fully
You're not fully developed.
Some things. That's like no, in the womb.
You're not fully developed.
Oh my soul! What the fuck? Some things.
Right.
There's a two-year-old.
Some
Yeah.
things and some people have to die. Yeah.
What's that?
Some things and some people have to die.
Well, some people are going to die, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but here's the question. Are you going to murder those people and then stand before God as a murderer?
That's not. What if you don't believe? Okay, like yeah. What if you're atheist?
But he'll forgive me then.
Well, if you're atheist, you're going to stand before the one true God of the universe still, and you're going to be held accountable for your sin.
I'm Christian, and there's like, if you had an abortion, that's not standing before God.
What?
If you have an abortion, that's not standing before God.
No, you will stand before God one day.
Yeah, but He will forgive.
No, you cannot presumptively sin.
Do you have a daughter? Yeah. What if your daughter got
They love this one.
Yes.
what?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Why would you punish that innocent child for the crime of the
Yeah.
father? I will let the
What about
father
your daughter? What if she
tried
dies
in
trying
a
to have
court.
birth? What if
I
she
would
dies
want.
trying to have
It's always, what if she dies?
My daughter tried in a court of law, and if he was found guilty, I want him murdered, not my grandchild. I don't ever want one of my grandchildren.
Can we name one of the ladies that's died from childbirth? It's because it doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't. People say it happens. It doesn't. It's just a lie the abortion industry's told you.
I've been a nurse for 35 years. I've worked with women
There's-
who have had miscarriages. I've worked with women who have had abortions that were really bad, and they nearly died from that.
You missed it. Well, what do you think? If somebody was pregnant, should they be allowed to kill their baby, do you think?
No.
No? I agree. I agree.
You know what?
Do you know a lot of people do that?
Yeah. Sometimes they do drugs.
Yes.
Kill the baby.
Yeah?
They can take pills that can kill the baby.
Yes.
And sometimes when the baby, and sometimes when the baby comes out, they'll kill it.
Yes, that happens too. Do you think that should always be illegal?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
No?
Yes. Killing the baby should be illegal.
Okay, well, you're right. Stay on the right track.
Yes. I'm not gonna kill my baby. What the heck?
Don't do it. Well, they were fiery.